Sashi Puki Jushing Metotram Riram Lingshin Yende Genpadi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Dokun Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Inam Guru Radna Mandala Niryatayami Sangye Chudam Soki Choknam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Drola Venchir Sangye Drupar Shok Sangye Chudam Soki Choknam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Drola Venchir Sangye Drupar Shok Sangye Chudam Soki Choknam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Drola Venchir Sangye Drupar Shok.
All right then. So we're going to just step back a little bit because we want to make sure we covered the last line. So we were describing the difference between Buddhist and non-Buddhist schools, which are called insider and outsider. And then the distinction between an inside and outside school would be distinguished on 3 criteria. First being teacher, second being teaching, and third being worldview. Okay, so we had not totally covered this last sentence on worldview. Okay, so Rande Tawani, the viewpoint of our school, okay, is Duce Mitapa Tawa, is to view all produced things as being changing, okay, etc. The 4 seals of a Buddhist teaching, okay. So he only named the first one. Kataki Chaka Shiyam, all 4 or Kangrum.
Or
any one or more. Okay?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, or 4. And then what we didn't cover, I think, is this second half of the sentence here. Ta Kepa. But if you want to go deeper on that worldview thing, okay, if you're going to talk about Kepa Chen means the extraordinary viewpoint that all Buddhist teachings should share. It's Dagme Chamo Tokpe Tawa. It's the view where you perceive the subtle form of the lack of a self-nature. He doesn't say to things or people. Okay? And that's the really special Kepa Chen. Okay?
Cool.
So that's it. Let's talk about Kepa Chen. So it can mean special. But Kepar means feature. And it can also mean difference. So you got to get used to those 3 words. Kepar as difference, Kepar as feature of a thing, and Kepar Chen as meaning extraordinary. Okay, there's 3 different connotations of that root. Okay. Then he says, I think somebody got sort of a doubt in their mind. They said, well, what about that weird little slice of a Buddhist school which says there is a self? Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, yeah, those guys, the Nemapupas,
Right.
which are Buddhist school, they accept the idea that there's a self or a soul which is indescribable. Okay, Doc. But because they also agree that there is a lack of a self, meaning because they also agree that that there is a self which is empty of being unchanging, singular, or independent.
Okay.
And then he uses a double negative. It's not as if they wouldn't accept the 4 seals.
Okay.
Okay, so he's just talking about an outlier. a Buddhist school that's kind of out on the edge. He said even they would still accept the Four Seals. It's not that they wouldn't accept the Four Seals. The first seal being, Duce Tamte Mitapa.
Or things
The second one is things that don't have a self, but he says, but their self they're talking about is not a self-nature thing, it's some kind of ineffable soul or something like that. It's not the self-nature of things. Okay?
Cool.
Now we reached our current position. Nipa Kepa Sosor Shepala. Let's talk about the now Kepa doesn't mean special, it means differences.
Okay, the features of those schools.
No. You could go that way, but I think he's trying to emphasize the difference between the schools. Let's talk about the specific differences between Buddhist and non-Buddhist. Okay. Chi Nangi Drupta Nile. If we're going to cover non-Buddhist and Buddhist schools, this lay is of those two, and you can always follow up here. I'm on the first line. Of those two, let's discuss the first, which was Chi, non-Buddhist schools. And I'm going to do that in 3 steps. Chung Rim means how did they come historically? What were the stages or the steps by which they appeared historically? Mingden. What's the meaning of the weird names that some of them have? Like Mutek. We'll talk about Tirtaka. And Social Shepa. Then we'll discuss the beliefs of each school. And I haven't been through this, okay? I did some of it with Rinpoche as an aside, but I haven't been through a Drupta, so I'll have to learn this. I asked Rinpoche why he didn't teach us Drupta. He says, I taught you all the Druptas, so why should I teach you the summary of the Druptas? Okay, he said, I'm going to teach you by elimination. You know, but I haven't been through the non-Buddhist schools, except Sankhya. Okay, Nga Dambuni, here's the first, meaning, you know, what are the steps by which they appeared in this world? Okay. Kepa Paktuki Delpe Shepatar, as the commentary to the stava or the stotra, the praise, the song of praise called praising the Buddha for being, especially, this pak means superior. This arya means superior. The praise of the one who is far beyond or something like that. If you want to make it poetic, which you should because all stavas are poetic. Okay. So apparently in there, and you could go find it if you want. We can do that. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is, I'll tell you something. The way he phrased it here, he didn't say lay, he said tar.
So like it says, not it says.
Yeah, yeah. So it could be that he's reworded their position. It may not be a direct quotation. Okay. Which makes finding it more interesting.
So this is where I go find it and cry to you when I can?
You go find it. Let's do it together because you should learn. This is where we could use three boxes in the search program.
Yes, it's coming.
I don't know. Kepa do pak, okay. And it might be Kepak, but I doubt it. Okay?
Yes.
And to find the poem, the praise, and then find the commentary, okay, we'll search for within 3 lines of.
Oh, cool.
Okay, in the language of Tibet. Because
And if you had a third,
if I had a third, I would look for it near Tupa. You see, if I had a third search area, you know, if I could do proximity search for 3 items within, and she's talking to it wouldn't be very commonly used, but it would be useful to have in some circumstances, like this one. Because as it is, I'm going to have to look at every title that has Kepa Papa in it. Okay, which is not going to be a lot, but it is something to whine about. Most praises are in the Tengyur, okay. Okay.
Okay.
And there it is. There's the root text, but what do we have?
We're looking for the commentary.
Yeah, we're looking for the commentary. Now, normally, the commentary will be the next Tohoku number.
Oh.
Just so you know, okay? So if 1109 is the praise, then probably 1110 is a commentary, and maybe 1111 is a commentary. Okay. So let's try.
Hey, look at that. 11:10.
Yeah, 1110. This is the Gyachir Shepa. This is the detailed commentary.
Okay.
Let's go see if there's another one that's called Delpa or not. I don't think there is, but let's see. No, that's it. Okay. Now, why I did this exercise with you is that if it's me, I'll take the whole text, Control A.
Yes.
I'll Command exit so I get the path, Command X. Then I'll open up a Word document, and I'll paste it.
Okay.
Okay. So, oops, it
Oh, this.
failed.
I remember that.
Okay. Okay, it failed. Okay. There's something wrong with my. Maybe I should turn my computer off and start again. But I'm going to try again. C. Gonna end. Yeah. Okay.
Control exit, right?
No, I didn't, because I didn't want to confuse my computer. Confuser. Okay, so here's the commentary. Now, purportedly,
Yes.
and by the way, I will save it with my translation, wherever I'm keeping my translation, which happens to be here.
Yes.
I'll just say K. Dang. K. Pak. Something like that. Okay. I'll just save it for future reference. Okay. And now, what information is in this commentary?
We don't know yet.
Oh, we haven't gone there yet.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a history of the Kapila,
Oh,
which
cool.
is the first non-Buddhist school
Computer.
that he's going to talk. It's like Serkya.
I looked it up. I think it's Sankhya. Like he's the founder of Sankhya. He was the teacher of the Sankhya school, and they said it was the school of the followers of Kapila.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. Lunse means in days of yore. Okay. In days gone by. Not a few years ago. Lo pag make it do so. Yeah, I would read it as in uncountable years ago, inestimable years ago. Okay, they're almost saying that the beginning of this school was in legend. Okay, by the way,
Right.
if it had said Selopak, me, it would mean in the days when human beings lived to 10 to the 60th power years. But he didn't say that. Okay,
Yeah.
so Dusu,
That's good.
Tramse, there was a Brahmin named Serkya Kapila, Shejawa, so-called Sheikh, a Brahmin, Chungde, he came.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he composed
Mm-hmm.
the root text for the Tangchen, for the Sankhya. Okay, so I'll buy your thing.
Because it says Trump.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Good.
Okay, he composed the major text Shung for the Sankhya
The
school.
guys who count stuff.
And from that book, Tenne, okay, from that book, Daki Tutsu positions on what is a self, Atman, okay, positions on what is self.
Okay.
Mindawe, different different viewpoints on what is a self. Okay, Kepanle, from that distinction about their different viewpoints on the self. Ge, this ge, very rare. Ge means split off. Okay, ge, split off many other systems, Lukshen Mambor, of Mutek. Mutek means non-Buddhist. Okay, Tirtaka. Okay, so from Dene, Dakin Dansa Mandara Kepale, from that sprang many schools, from the Sankhya sprang many schools due to their different interpretation of what's the self. Okay. By the way, that's a general description of all non-Buddhist schools of his time.
So he's kind of saying Sankhya is the source of them.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, from ancient times.
Makes sense.
Okay, now what are the different, we use 3 different names for non-Buddhist school in Buddhism.
Chirapa, Mutekpa, and
Here we go. Okay, so here's I'm going to split them for you. Okay, here's the first one. Second one. And third one. Okay. Now, the different names for non-Buddhist schools can be described as follows. Number 1. This should say Nangpa. Okay. This is how we mark an error in the text, so that later we're going to automate fixing the database. And so I don't have to go fix the database. Nangpa Sangye Pale, Shenki De Yinbe, in that they are other schools than the inner school of Buddhists, we call them other schools. Shende. Okay, other schools. That's one name for non-Buddhist schools. We can call them other schools. The other schools. Shende. We can also call them Chirul Bus, probably better here. Because they are outside of that system, meaning our school. Okay, because their viewpoints lay outside of our own school. Okay, De Lukle, from our system, they are outside of. Okay. And here's a hard one, okay, which is not made easier by the fact that there's misspelled things. Okay. This is Jungok, and you just have to know. Jungok. Okay, if you look up Dopa, you'll find superstition.
Okay.
Dopa Sagadu, he's paranoid. He's eating a Dopa. Okay, so it's not Dopa, it's Ngok. Okay, Ngok. You had Jungok in ACI 10, 11, and 12. Because Gyaltsab J's book was called Depe Jungok.
And how the point in which you enter?
Yeah, it means the best point in a stream to enter it, to cross it.
Okay.
Fording point, enter. What do we call it? Entry point. Yeah, entry point. That's a Jungok. In Tibet, because of the snow mountains, there were countless streams to be crossed at any time of year, and there were no bridges. So finding the Jungok was important in Tibet, as much as salt tea or butter, or it was a big part of Tibetan culture. Okay, so to them the word Jungok was important. Best place to get into something big. Jungok Trunang. This is confusing wording, but I studied it. I went and looked it up in some places, and what it means is you find a place at the river where you would like to take a bath, or you would like to wash yourself. True means to wash yourself. Okay. True. Yeah. And in the river, at that point in the river, okay, you put a tek. That's a tek, okay? It's a small support for something.
Okay.
Normally altar tek, or they can call torma tek. It's a small stand for a torma. And it can mean a stool that you use to go sit in the water to bathe yourself. So I would take it as a stool or something.
Okay.
Which in Sanskrit is tirtha.
Tirtha.
Okay, that's why I wrote it there.
Tirtha.
Okay.
Tirtha.
And by the way, so mutek, here's the mutek, okay?
Mhm.
Mutek means non-Buddhist school.
Mhm.
It's the Buddhist word for non-Buddhist school. They're called tirthakas, tirtha guys that use tirthas.
Okay.
Okay, because they believed, they assert, mawa, okay, they assert as a method for being born in the higher realms, the realms of happiness, right? Dendor, human, deva, or demigod, okay? They assert that one of the methods for getting there is to sit on a stool in a stream and let the stream wash over you, and somehow purify you, something like that.
Different kind of stream enter.
So Der Shukpa means they sit on the tirtha after having set it at the point on the shore where it's convenient to wash yourself. Okay. Now, the word shore can be mu. You see, mu can mean, Adam's had a lot of mu's, but this mu means the edge of the beach or something. The edge of the water. Mu means the edge of the water. So they're called stool at the edge of the water. Or edge of the water stoolers. Mutek, tirthakas.
I'm thinking.
Okay. Then I never heard this. I've never studied this. I've heard mutek 1,000 times. I never knew what it meant. I gave up trying to understand it. It wasn't that important. I have in recent years, when the translation is for the public, I don't translate it as non-Buddhist schools. I just call it other schools or something. Because I don't want... I have a principle of translation and teaching called cultural sensitivity, okay? I don't call Yamantaka Lord of Terror in public in America. You see, like I have words I don't use because they're too loaded, you know, so I avoid them, you know. Non-Buddhist school sounds schismatic or sectarian, yes, I avoid it. Just a suggestion, up to you, okay. But I also wouldn't like you to use tirtaka, because I think it's, well, you are going to have to say, in parentheses, you know, or in a footnote somewhere, they're called non-Buddhist because they use stools at the edge of the river. It's not like that. You better have some tirtas in there. Okay, that's up to you.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, probably for each of these three.
Yeah.
I mean, earlier we talked about saying Chidopa and Nangpa were Buddhist and non-Buddhist. But then when he glosses Chidopa, I can't do that.
I'll leave it up to you. It's your book. I mean, if I feel strongly about it, I'll fight with you. But, you know, my dream is that you guys are teaching these books for the rest of your life. So it better be something you're comfortable with.
Sure.
But I would encourage you not to put in something which would lower the number of people who read the whole thing. So that's the real goal, is that someone reads it. And if there's a cultural sensitivity word that you use in the first few pages that causes someone to put it down, you failed as a translator. So I just leave that responsibility to you. Okay, now, you want to go deeper? Jamya Shepe Dorje, as usual, tore apart this word mutekpa.
Okay.
And he helped me to understand it enough to explain it to you just now.
Okay.
So I thought you might like to see his comment. Nick, when I talk about people putting slashes unnecessarily in a text, here's an example. Some typist, 1 out of 100 and something typists, is using this slash illegally, and the search program won't find what I'm looking for. If the slashes are maybe
I'm gonna talk to Phil.
maybe Phil can batch file them out. But here you see, for a hard return, they've put a backslash. Somebody, I don't know why, some typist decided that would be cool. But then the search program doesn't work. Okay, so we gotta, we have to take them all out and replace them with nothing. And B, we have to find this typist and cut off their thumbs or fingers, I don't care.
With nothing.
Noted.
It wouldn't be
Okay.
the thumbs.
We do backslash.
Okay. We can just put backslashes on their head. You know.
What's the catalog number for that one?
Mm.
I'll tell
S19028.
19028.
Over and over?
So is that the Tengyur and the Sunbum again?
No, this is in certain Sumbum texts.
Just Sunbum.
By the way, it looks to me like they are book form. They are printed books.
Right.
See that they've divided lines that way. I believe it's a printed book.
Okay.
They're trying to, and by the way, another way to check that would be to see if there's any A's or B's on the page numbers, because there won't be.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, here we go.
There are.
Kepra Bhakti Dapale, the commentary to the praise of the one,
Oh.
the praise of Buddha who is
Sorry.
especially superior.
Mm-hmm.
You make it something sweet. Mutek, what does mutek mean? Okay. Tarpadan Toriki Lam Te. It's a reference. Well, first of all, they're talking about paths to reach freedom and the higher rebirth. Okay, paths to reach freedom and the higher rebirth. They tumbachepe tenjula, and the book they use that they believe teaches that path, they call mutek. Okay. Shejala, they chepena, and because they use that book, they're called users of the mutek. Okay. Shidele, Kang Dagla Chulung. So Shidel, thanks a lot. Commentary on the foundation, but we don't know what. We don't know what foundation. If he's quoted it properly, we can find it. If he's quoted it literally, we can find it. Okay. Kangdak chulung tu jukpe tape lam yapa. Didat mutik chenyino. Those who believe that it is a path to freedom to get into a stream, to sit in a stream, that they're called mutik. Okay. And sometimes it's called mutek chen, which means those who have stools at the shore. Okay, shore stoolers.
Could this
Okay.
relate to like bathing in the Ganges?
Could be, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Shei Sumbatar, in keeping with that earlier reference, we can say, Jungok Chu Don Tepo Chete, those who go to the side, to go to the bank of the river to wash and use a stool, and who believe that sitting there is a cause, gyur, for reaching the higher realms, which for them is tarpa. Okay. They chepe, because they use that, we call them mutek che, people who use stools at the shore. Okay. E, okay, E means but, disjunctive genitive, but strong disjunctive, as opposed to la, as opposed to la, okay? But, as Taklo claimed, okay, Taklo Lotsawa, Tiger Lotsawa, okay, as Taklo Lotsawa claimed, mu means tarpa, and
What?
use the tekang
Like
like a shrine, Niewe Lam Chepe, because they think a shrine is a shortcut. We call them mutek. He says serwa. That's not true. That interpretation of the word tirtaka is incorrect.
Okay.
according to Janya Shipa. He says if you see that one, don't go for it.
Okay.
Mine's more correct. And Lele Kyang means some others say, unspecified. Lala means some others. Lala Land. Sangcha Jalpar Trune, who've misunderstood a reference in the commentary to celibacy, okay, or Sangcha Munlam. It could be. So what's his name? Bhadra, who did the sky offering. Samanta Bhadra. Sangcha here could be Kundusambarchipa, which is probably Samanta Bhadra. In the commentary to Samanta Bhadra Sutra, they made a mistake, and they made the mistake to think that all Buddhists are mutiks. That's even worse. Okay, got it? So that's just an aside for fun.
Okay.
Okay, but you might see that interpretation somewhere, or somebody might come up and give you that. So.
I mean, for fun, but it might be a footnote.
Could be a footnote. Then I looked up Dek in Singza Chamo.
Whoa.
It's defined as a Dekbu. The Dekbu is defined as a Dekbu. Thanks a lot.
Great.
No, you got to realize before that dictionary, there were no great dictionaries. They often define something with the thing, which is illegal in the dictionary. What does computer mean? Computer with keys. You know, thanks. Okay, anyway, dekchek means which supports something. Like a torma dekbu is very common. It's a small stand, a stand for a. So when I say stool, I'm meaning a little stool, footstool. Okay. Kangtek means a bolster. What do you call it? When you sit in a chair and you put your feet out on
The ottoman?
an ottoman, yeah, foot deck. And then shok deck means that kind of couch where you lie down on your side.
Chaise lounge.
Yeah, chaise lounge. Okay, so those are all examples of decks. Okay. Okay, there you go. That's their meaning. I'll say so far we got a statement about how they came to be, Jungrim. Then we got a statement about Mingdun, what their name means. And we haven't treated separate schools yet. We're just talking about non-Buddhists as a group.
Okay.
And now third, we're supposed to talk about a little more detail about them. Okay. Chir tawe gone chena. If you divide these schools according to their viewpoints, okay, generally speaking, you can get Nyanga, 25. Now that's a little confusing because there's 25. The Sankhya are called enumerators because they enumerate 25 divisions of existence. So I don't know if he's talking about 25 schools or 25 divisions.
Oh boy.
I would say 25 schools at this point. Delekyan Gyapachena, if you want to divide those viewpoints, 25 viewpoints, into more detail, you will get Ngapkya Dang Dunchu, 570.
Okay.
Okay.
No more than no less.
There's a mistake here. Lang is a mistake. I need the carving. I think it's Yang, probably. Oh boy.
No, we're in the general vicinity from the top there.
Yeah, okay, we're close. Yeah, that says Yang.
Okay.
So this is Yang. Yang means alternately. Okay. Sumgyadang Druchitsasum. 363 views.
Okay.
Is there a comma after this
Most
that
days of the
soon?
year. Is there a comment after?
Yeah, I think there should be. Young Sumya Ducha Sasa. He didn't put a comma. Okay. 363 viewpoints, boiling down to Tawe-Tsawa, 110. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Based on 110, Tawe-Tsawa.
Okay.
Okay. Or you can divide them. I need to see the text again. Yatsen chingi tawa. Yansen chingi. Keep it up there. I gotta fix this. Yatsen chingi. Ta. That's mistaken.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. It should be tawa kotu. Okay.
Okay.
Soki yewa. Okay. So it should be. Well, it was BGO, right? So we're going to change it to. This is just so someone who comes later can fix the database. I don't have time. Okay. Yatsen Chen. Yatsen Chen means weird. Weird. Strange. Okay. Yatsen Chen. You got to find a literary word, but it means strange. I learned this word by reading the Tibetan newspaper, which is Munjung Yakten. Strange, but really happened. And it's there, Ripley's, believe it or not. And they'll say some lady had 6 babies, and the third one had 4 noses, and that was very popular in the Tibetan newspapers. I used to read them to learn how to talk, because Rinpoche refused to talk me in Tibetan. So to protest, I would read the Tibetan newspaper at meals. And he spoke Tibetan to Art, but not to me. Okay, he said, you have to teach me English. I'm like, I came here to learn Tibetan. Yansen Chingi Tawa. Kotruk means Gupchu Kotruk, 96. So that's the enumerizer for the 90s. 90 and 6. So they just say and 6, but they're different for each 10. Okay, so Kotruk is the numerizer for the 90s. It's the hyphen in 99. Okay, Kotruk, so 96 weird views.
Okay, wait, we had 25 schools. You could divide those up into 570, alternately 363, which boiled down or were based on 110. And what's the 96?
There's 20. Okay, listen. Here it is. There's 25. If you divide, generally, their viewpoints, non-Buddhist viewpoints, there's 25. If you divide those further, you could get 570. Or you could get 363, which themselves based on 110. Or, okay, you could divide them into the 96 weird views. Okay, etc., etc., etc. Yewe Mangyang. Look, there's just a lot of different ways to divide them. Yewe Mangyang. But, and we can even start a new paragraph here if you want to make it a little easier on your reader. Duna means if you group them, or in colloquial English, if you boil them all down, it's only 2. They all boil down to 2, okay? Chema and Takma. Chema and Takma. These are the classical 2 extremes when you talk about the middle way. And we talked about them as the result of the viewpoint and not the viewpoint themselves. Chepa meaning things have discontinued. And Takpa meaning things go on forever without changing. Okay? Those are the 2 consequences of the 2 extreme views. Okay? Now, here they have a special meaning. So
Okay.
what do you call it? Suspend your
Suspend
fingers. Don't decide yet how you're going to translate it. Okay. What does it mean to have a nihilistic view? And what does it mean to have an eternalistic view? Okay, for them, yeah. Nisa Due. So generally, you can take all those divisions and boil them down to 2. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm going to teach you those 2. I'm going to explain those 2. Deni Shepala. Okay. Let's divide it into 2 parts: explaining the nihilists and explaining the eternalists.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't much like those words. They really irritated me when I was first reading Buddhist books. Like, what the hell, you know? But I don't know. They fit pretty well. You decide. Thank goodness it's not me. Dambalanyi. Now let's talk about the nihilists. Okay. We'll cover them in 2 steps. Dain Dupa Gupa and De Gakpo. Dain Dupa Gupa means let's set forth their beliefs. Gupa means to set forth. Let's set forth their beliefs, and then we will knock them down. Then we will refute them. Okay, then we will refute them. And let's cover the first thing in 3 parts.
Mhm. Okay.
When we set forth their beliefs, let's cover that in 3 parts. And it's unusual that they don't have commas here. Can I see the root text? Yeah, they didn't do it there either. Okay, but it's possible. Tumba, Mingdun, and Drupta.
Oh wow. Okay. Tumba, their teacher.
Yeah, let's talk about first who their teacher was.
Their name.
Why are they called what they're called?
And their Drupta. Their
And then what is their
school.
system?
Like,
Okay. Okay. What is their
He's
system?
gonna go through each school.
Yeah, yeah, he is. This Drupta, if I'm not mistaken, he spends almost as much time on non-Buddhist schools as he does on Buddhist schools. Okay. So he mentions 3 teachers. Their teachers were these 3. Okay.
Okay.
He calls each of them Changsong, Siddha. Okay. Which I just call, what do I call it? Adept or something like that. Okay. Literally it means go straight. And there's a literal explanation of it.
Mhm.
But it's the word siddha. Even in India nowadays, when you want to tell the taxi driver go straight, you say siddha, siddha. You know. Okay. So I don't know what you want to call them. Saint,
Okay.
adept, sage. Okay. One is called purbu, which is a dagger, ritual dagger. And you can go look up their names in Lokesh Chandra.
Okay. Okay.
Zhang Song, Jigten Mik, we had it before because it closed.
Eyes of the world.
The Eyes of the World. There it was, no, there it was Loka
Oh yeah.
Chakshu.
Chaksha.
Chakshu. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I was thinking about it in yoga.
Okay.
Oh no, I was talking about Sakshi, witness. So Chakshu or Akshi. If you're interested, Chakshu and Akshi both came into English as ocular.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nobody cares, okay. Our tongue so.
Everybody cares.
Johnson.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's the other word for ocular? Ophthalmologist, I think. Auga in German, right?
Augen.
The eye, Augen. Yeah. They all come from Aksha. Okay, anyway. Chansong Juktop. And enter strength. I don't know. So the Tibetans have taken them as epithets.
Mm-hmm. Because they translated them.
For example, there's a famous one called Kangmik, which means leg eyes. Kangmik or something like that. But there's a reason, because a woman tried to seduce him once, and he stared at his feet. You see, so that's an epithet. Yeah. So that becomes an epithet. You see, So I'll leave it up to you. You know,
That's a monastery nickname.
Jigten Meek is a nice name. You know, Ice for the World.
Mm-hmm.
Dagger, I don't know why he was called that.
I don't know, Sarahad sometimes too, right?
Yeah. So anyway, they are their teachers. They've covered the teacher. Next, they're supposed to cover the Mingden.
Oh, okay. Bad name.
These guys are known as nihilists. Okay, Chema. They're known as Chema. Why? They believe that Shiwetse,
Piece of life.
not Shiwetse.
Oh, that?
When you die,
Yeah.
Shiwetse, the dak,
Self.
the
soul,
self,
maybe.
gyun che.
Does not continue.
Yeah, discontinues. The flow of the self discontinues. So therefore, as a group, they're all called Chepamawa, discontinuists.
Mm.
Okay? Discontinuists. So you figure out something.
Mm-hmm.
When I translated the Vajrayogini Sadhana, I was thinking of Ursula Le Guin
Mm-hmm.
and the Earthsea trilogy.
Yeah.
And her parents were anthropologists. She grew up in like New Guinea tribes, and she grew up in other worlds. And then when she wrote her first great books, which were her last, no, not really, but when she wrote her great trilogy, she just created a whole new world and very many details of the whole new world, So when I translated the Vajrayogini Sadhana, I wrote her. And I said, my goal is to create an alternate reality, but I need help. I need someone to help me, And so I wrote her and I said, would you be willing to read it and tell me, give me your suggestions, And then she said, and I said I'd be willing to take 6 months off and come live near you and just walk over there and, And then she wrote back and said, I really appreciate it, but I'm busy, I can't do that. Then I sent her a raw diamond in an envelope. And I said, some things need to be polished. And her secretary wrote me back and she said, you'll appreciate that Miss Le Guin is very busy. And she sent the diamond back. And she doesn't take gifts from fans. She has a rule that she doesn't take gifts from her fans. And she sent the diamond back, and I was like, whoa. But anyway,
You met her.
Yeah.
you did?
Yeah, in a little bookstore in Albuquerque.
Wow.
What's her name again?
Ursula Le
Oh,
Guin.
dude, let's see, we'll take care of you.
She used to call herself UK Le Guin because
Right, because she's a lady.
she didn't want people to know she was a woman.
Mhm.
And they wouldn't buy her books. So, why did I mention that? I have a vision for your book. That if you choose to, it's up to you. But if it were me, I would make it another world. I wouldn't say historically these are the Sankhyas, or I would just say the reader steps into another world, and you give them names, numerists. And they just feel they're in another world. And you don't try to make it historical. You don't say, oh, this guy quotes that book and this is the Sankhya's on page 37 of this book, I would just say, to hell with all the academics, and I'm going to take you on a trip to another world. And these guys are called the numerists. But give them sexy names, and don't try to get all the words in the name.
Mhm.
Get the main word in the name, like, I don't know. You'll find cases where there's 3 parts to the name. Ignore 2 of them. You see? And give them a name. That sounds as though they might have existed. Okay? And just take the reader into a new world.
Still okay to somehow footnote them a map back
Yeah,
to where
yeah, you can do that. But I'm just saying that's an option. And if you read the Vajrayogini Sadhana, there's nothing there that doesn't make you feel you're not in another world. It's another world. It doesn't make excuses. This is another world. Take it or leave it. If you need a footnote that says 12, 14 BC, then go somewhere else. This is as this writer saw the world. You know, these are almost like mythic figures, you know. And don't say Hercules means, the name Hercules means, just say Hercules, you know, and you deal with it. That's one way you can do it. You don't have to do it. It's your book. But anyway, she would say that was the half hour of, what do you call it? Okay, expostulation. So because they believe that the flow of the person stops at the point of death, they're called stoppists. Or something like that. Discontinuous. You find a name. Ender's Game. What time am I supposed to stop?
45.
Yeah.
I mean, you start at 3 downstairs, so it just depends on.
And we have to be there at 5 till, in our seats, ready to.
So whatever you want to do, I'm happy.
He does.
No,
Ready
downstairs,
We're about to
5
stop.
to 3, in our seat.
Moments here.
Oh, 5 minutes.
That's just what Scott said.
Mr. Wu keeps sending me these cute messages. He says, I found this hotel, should we buy it? And he sent me a photo. And it's the Royal Palms Inn. This is where I went my whole life. This is where my parents took me my whole life. He's like, should we buy this one? I'm like, dude, you just bought a house here. We just built a college here. And I wrote him back. I said, it's too hot in Phoenix in the summer. Then he said, okay. Now he just wrote me and said, anyway. Okay. He's working on it. God bless him. We're going to keep going. Jikten chima dang lende pelcha me per me we na.
Come on.
No, one from our sponsor.
He says the place I just checked into, we can fit more than 1,000 students.
Wow.
Is he? I thought it was leaving.
I thought he was with the kids.
Tell him none of us will go to Phoenix.
No, he's talking about Sedona now.
Oh,
He's
just
gonna buy
checked
the
in. Is he
Bears.
still here?
God bless him. I don't know. He's probably on the plane. Okay. She would say, Jikten Shima, the world.
Said you would probably let her text our babysitter. Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure. Jikten Shima means the next life. Okay, the next world. And Lende, the laws of karma and its consequences. Pelcher, for the most part, Mepa, they deny. They're called the deniers. Mepa Mawa. Okay? They say they don't exist, so we call them non-existentists.
This is a separate group.
And that's this next sentence here. Yeah. We can split it like this. Okay, one more and we're done. Tangsong Purbu, I think it's misspelled here. Yeah. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Anybody want a new computer? Just kidding. Because they follow the saint ritual dagger. Okay. They're called Purbupas, daggerists. Okay. Man. Now we will fly to Beijing. Take care. Aww. I hope you got through. Yeah, you want to? You want to say goodbye like that? Okay, quick.
Recording or pictures?
No, just a panel.
Okay.
Go like everybody. Go like this. Ready? We'll give him some Siddhanta also.
Definitely.
Ask him if he's gonna sleep or work.
If he's gonna sleep or work on the plane.
Oh.
Yeah, he works on airplanes now.
By the way, I sleep as much as I work on a plane. I didn't want to.
He didn't see the sleep.
Whenever I'm with him, I work. Okay. Okay, last one. Yang Dape This is probably. Oh man, this is terrible.
Okay.
Give me this.
Oh, sure. This.
Just leave it up there, okay?
You got it.
Check this out. I'm just gonna write a new line, okay? Yang da be tawa. Okay, nem be not lama be tawa. Okay, then be good do so young Pimbo. Okay.
Whoa.
G.
What's going on?
Oh, G.
Okay.
I was like, oh,
Wow, I never seen that before.
Uh-huh.
grafen.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, there's a very common Sanskrit name for Gyang Pemba. I forget what it is.
Oh, shoot.
Red Gyang up in.
Okay.
It's a word you probably halfway know. Charvaka. It's
Yeah.
Charvaka school.
I was guessing that
They're famous because they don't believe in karma, I think. They're one of the only Hindu schools that don't believe in karma.
They don't believe in future lives, if I remember.
Oh yeah, okay. Anyway,
One of those. Yeah, probably that one. Yeah.
I gotta study this, okay? Kudu song. Sorry. I know you have a babysitter going.
No, it's Adriana, and we just texted her, and this is awesme. And it's our last moments for this term to get to do this all these days.
Yeah.
So I don't mind milking it for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this instrumental as comparative.
Mm-hmm.
Then, okay. Young, because they have,
A few other than.
because they are divorced, because they are completely divorced from accepting correct view. Okay?
Okay.
Because they are so far divorced from accepting the correct view, we call them long way awayers. Gyang Pemba. Okay. What was the Sanskrit? Charvaka. So if you look up the pieces of Charvaka, you will find Gyang Pen means thrown afar. Thrown
So-
afar.
It turns out that's probably not what they called themselves.
Yeah. For example, Gyangchar, Gyang, the same root, Gyangchar, is the distance that a monastery should be from a major city, or a retreat center should be from a major city.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many domes, so many fathoms. Okay, so that means far away.
Okay.
So Gyang Pemba means they got tossed far away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you marking this new line that you just put in? What?
I'll probably just. That's terrible. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I
Okay.
don't think. Unkang di
I'll
la
do the
kiwang
same.
na chi yu ba di kong si. Yeah, then there's a debate about whether they do accept past and future lives, and we'll go into that later.
Okay.
Okay, and then he goes into the Drupta.
Mm-hmm.
Then he'll go into the schools of the non-Buddhists.
Wow.
I'll give you. I gotta do one more.
Totally do.
Okay, here's a summary of their school belief.
Okay, this is just a peek ahead.
There's no cause. This is very famous for the sharpness of a thorn.
Wow.
There's no cause for the roundness of a pea.
Yeah.
And there's no cause for the colors of a peacock's feather. They say some things are without cause. Okay. Some things have no causes. Nobody made peas round. That's a typical Charvaka. Hey man, nobody made peas round. What are you talking about? Okay. I like those. I like those. You know, we pick on them. Who do you think made peas round?
Sashi
Pugi Jushin Meto Kam Riram Lingshi Nyende Gempani Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uargi Doku Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Iram Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami Di Kewokun Sanam Yeshe Tsotso Shing Sanam Yeshe Lechungwe Tampa Kuni Tobar Sho Omahun.
Wow.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. Super cool.